Hello. I'm going to be working on this amp tonight. Give me a second, whoever is on, so I can, I don't know, I'm probably going to appear upside down unless I do this. Hey, y'all. So, give me a sec. I want to get the comments or the chat or what have you up on my up on my computer so I can actually interact. Dee-dum. I haven't done this before, so bear with me. I'll just narrate as I go. I've been working on this tube amp here. Show you the top. Ugh. This I see as a necessary first step towards doing an upgrade for Pierre on his Altex. And because this is the first time I've used these Chinese transformers. I got these, oh gosh, it's been like years ago now. Anyway, let me see if I can do this. Maybe I just go to my channel and join it. Click through. Oh, and I better put in my earbuds so I don't get nasty feedback. Wow, how lagged is this? Amazing. Yeah, so there's like a good 30-second lag on this. All right. Actually, though, probably not connected to what I want to be connected to. No, don't want to be connected. No, I don't want to do. All right. I don't know what was going on there. I think I should be back though. Sorry, folks, and I'm also going to have to get used to this. Like, there's going to be kind of a ridiculous lag on my side, but I'm going to try to monitor the chat if you got anything you want to share with me. But here's the deal. uh, you know, there's a couple of video things that I've been working on, and it's just been difficult to get actual video done. And partly, this is one of the things that I started, it, I don't know, video in progress on this thing. And, you know, started off just, let's see if I can just do a little video about trying to, you know, dust off this console amp, you know, plug it in, see if it works, do a little spiffing uh, of it, spiff it up a bit. And it just, it seemed like, well, it didn't work like it was supposed to. And moreover, the design seemed to be kind of fundamentally flawed. And so I didn't really want to go messing around with too much in the way of you know, trying to fix. So the issue was initially it had unity gain. It's like, well, not much of an amplifier if it's got unity gain. And so I was going to have to start replacing components. But then I'm like, you know, it's going to be a pain in the butt, you know, getting into these bits here, trying to replace components. I mean, obviously it is more work to completely rebuild it, but if I'm gonna completely rebuild it, I'd rather just go ahead and do that rather than, you know, mess around with it to get it working in its fundamentally flawed condition. Anyway, let me give you a little bit of background. It's an RCA amp. It's an RS17 or RS177A, and RCA console amp. Of course, those are not the original transformers. Where are those? The original transformers, output transformers, aren't tiny. They're just, you know, not awesome, right? I mean, that's probably a decent output transformer for a console, but you know, not for like a modern hi-fi amp. So yeah, so I took those out, and I had bought these Chinese output transformers from Iowa Style quite a while back. They have ultra linear taps. They have 4 ohm and 8 ohm taps, although I'll only be using the 8 ohm. And they're chunky as all get out. They're bigger than the Dynaco Z565s that I have on my Beaver Valley. So I'm like, well, you know, they were relatively cheap. I mean, not super cheap. You know, I mean, maybe they, well, okay, so I used some iWish transformers before. This isn't my first time using those transformers. I've used them on a couple of DGSE1s, my little single-ended amps that I've built. And so, like, you know, I did some searching. You know, nobody will friggin' admit to using these things. I bet they're in a lot. I bet these transformers are in a lot of gear, and nobody will just admit to using them because they're Chinese and they're, I don't know, whatever, right? So I figure it would be doing a service to the community to try them out in an amplifier that had at least an output stage that was identical to the Beaver Valley that has the Dynaco transformers in it. And cool, thanks for letting me know that it's working. True voice of reason, my dude. Anyway, so I figured, you know, well, the initial plan was to make an identical amplifier, but then I looked at this one, and it has some nice tubes that were already in it. Clearly, somebody had already modified it slightly to use it as a standalone amp. I think that's what these little felt feet are. But it's got these Soviet whatchamacallits, 6P14Ps. Is that right? Din 6 P. Anyway, show off my Russian. But the reason that I mean, that would have been fine. I could use those, and those are essentially reasonably identical to EL84s, but it also had these 6CG7s in it, and this was, designed to use 6CG7s initially. Now, if you're not familiar with the 6CG7, it's a very nice tube. It's the 9-pin electronic equivalent of the 6SN7, which is a very high fidelity tube. And so I'm like, it doesn't have a huge amount of gain, which was, part of the problem with the original design. The original design had a lot of a lot of negative feedback. And, but these have such low distortion that you don't necessarily need that much negative feedback. So I found a guy online who had built a clone of an HK200. Let me check my computer here, see if that's right. HK20. The HK20, I guess, was a mono amp from way back in the day. Now, but this is going to be a bit of a hybrid amp, and we'll see how that goes. This is a bit of an experiment, y'all. So I'm going to be using the HK20 on the input and phase splitter stages. It has a nifty, kind of clever way of doing the biasing of the input stage, so that it can get more gain without using a bypass capacitor. And I'm not, why bother? I don't know. Anyway, so it's an interesting design, worth trying out. And then but I won't use its design for the output stage. I'm going to use the Beaver Valley design for that. So I've got my hybrid schematic. Let's see if I can actually show you. I mean, just to show you what kind of thing I'm working off of as I sit here. So I'll be going off of the schematic, if you can see it. Anyway, the schematic, I do my schematics in LT Spice. If I'm really ambitious with LT Spice schematics, I can actually simulate the circuit. I haven't built this schematic to the level that'll let me actually do simulation. So again, a bit of an experiment. What else was so the other thing that I'm doing that's entirely different from the HK20, but is similar to the Beaver Valley, is I'm going to be using regulated power on the input and phase inverter stages. So this one you really can't see because of the big capacitor there. This one I haven't put the capacitor on yet, because when I do, I won't be able to see jack underneath it. I won't be able to access there. So I basically need to build the amp before I then stick on this this big capacitor, which will go right there, something like that. What else is novel here? This is the first amp that I have built with a ground bus. The original had a ground bus. Here is the original ground bus. The original ground bus was connected to the chassis on both ends, here and here, and that's bad practice. In this case, isolated it from the chassis on both ends. Now, if I were going to connect it directly to the chassis on one end, I would want to do it on this end because that's where the inputs are. And so I would, you know, I'd want to go to, anyway. So that's generally the way I would do it. But I've got a ground lifting resistor here. So that lets you kind of do pseudo balanced input. Not exactly, but essentially it refers the ground to the input device because, you know, it's, and so 10 ohms is small enough to, for sort of safety ground purposes, and large enough that it'll be, that it does effectively refer the ground to the input device. And here's the inputs right here. All right. So that's what all this little business is over here. Oh, this business here, that is, I don't know if I've done it right, and so I will see when I fire it up. I don't know, maybe I should do that sooner rather than later, now that I think about it. So this is to drop the heater voltage. When I had it on before, it came in at like 6.9 volts, which might be, you know, doable, but not great to run 6.3 volt tubes on 6.9 volts. And so that's what those are supposed to drop the voltage. And this isn't the way I've done it before, so I don't know if this is going to work. I've got the resistors between the so it's a blah, 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 blah. The 6-volt supply has a center tap that is supposed to go to ground. In this case, I've put these two 1/3 ohm resistors in parallel between that tap and ground. I'm hoping that that will drop the voltage. Otherwise, I would just put it between one of these wires, and here's the 6-volt supply right here. I'd put it in series with the heater. It seems like it shouldn't make a difference which end I put it on, but I could be having a brain fart there and just not thinking straight about why it should make a difference. So we'll see. And yeah, it's using a 5U4 GB rectifier tube. You know, at some point I might want to use a 5AR4. It'd give me greater voltage. I just don't have a spare 5AR4 around. Hey Melody, you guys got those in stock yet at Pavane? You want to send me one of those, please? It'd be so awesome. Not like Melody's watching right now, but if she were, I would say, please. All right. So, what else should I tell you? Power input module, and I put in a choke. The original amp did not have a choke in the power supply. I wanted to have a choke in the power supply, so I salvaged this out of one of my Magnavox console amps that I haven't gotten around to building anything in. So, and those are just sitting there, perfectly good spare parts, and I would use a choke from one of those, so that's what that is. Should be similar, therefore, to, again, the power supply for the Beaver Valley amp, which has a Magnavox choke in it. All right. Oh, if you're curious about the regulation, this is an LR8 high voltage regulator. can do about 10 milliamps, and each of these tubes should be drawing 4, maybe 5 milliamps. So this should be plenty. And then there's the other one over here. So I've got actually there 4 separated, I've got different regulated power supplies for the 2 inputs. And that should help with channel separation, which might, actually make this an improvement over my Beaver Valley, where I think I used 2 LR8s in parallel, because using just one fried the regulator, too much current. Over here is going to be interesting. I might need to put in a different, so I'm a little worried about tag strips, and whether I've got enough lugs to connect to in all of this. So I may vocalize those issues as I go along. But yeah. So I guess it was last night when I was working on this that I got to I got the power supplies done. And so now I need to get about putting in all the friggin' resistors and capacitors that are going to go into this thing. Over here will be this is where the cathode resistors and the feedback resistors will go for the input stage. Although it's a little bit, it's a little funky. Not funky, whatever. It's a little interesting. Oh, here's some analness here. I went and braided the output wires. And then I remembered afterwards, didn't this thing have some shielded cables for its outputs, and that I just sort of left mine around here somewhere? I don't know, maybe so. I don't see them now. Oh well. All right, I think it's time to get to work. However, this lighting situation is not working for me because it's shining in my eyes. So let me see what I can do. It's a little bit of an awkward spot. I think that's probably going to be in frame if I have it here, though. I'll check my screen. Huh. Maybe that'll work. Oh, I've got comments. Tacoma in the house, yo. PA. Oh, Patrick, I'm sorry about your stylus. That is such a drag. Ooh, tube phono stage. I'm jealous. All right. Good to have you all with me. This is interesting. I'll see how this goes. It's kind of fun. I don't know if this lighting is really going to work. It's kind of like right into my head here. Let's see if that's going to work. I gotta wait for the video to catch up. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's not good. That's, yeah, totally not okay. All right. Try. Jeez. So this lamp, it's kind of awesome because it's so Art Deco, but it's and so I tolerate it, but it's not. I really would love to have a Luxo lamp, y'all. It would just be so awesome. Anyway, I think this might have to do. I see you all are still looking at my lamp. There we go. All right, time to get going with this. Now I'm going to have to take my eyes off the chat to get my schematic up, y'all. So, but I will try to resize it so that I can see the chat. Let's see. I mean, and I see you all are, chatting amongst yourselves, which is totally cool. All right. Man, I don't know. Can you hear my computer fan? It's like my my 2012 MacBook Air. It's struggling. All right. I need to figure out what to do first here. Oh, yeah. What I'm trying to do, and this is something I learned when I rebuilt the Altec amps for Pierre, is that putting in, where I need to have some wire runs, I need to put those in first so that I can run them along the chassis. Because what I found with the 2 amps that I rebuilt for him, is that the second one had lower noise. Neither of them were particularly noisy, but the second one had significantly less noise. I mean, we're talking like a few millivolts RMS, but and the only reason I can think that would be is that because I had 1 amp to go by as I was building the second, I could see what wires needed to go where rather than just sort of build it along as I went. And so for the second one, I put in all the wires first and ran them along the chassis. And I think that is generally preferred if you can run your wires along the chassis. Now, what does that say for having a ground bus suspended up here like that? I don't know, but anyway, so you can see some of my ground, these wires going along. I've done the heater wiring, it's all twisted and whatnot. These I will, this is kind of killing me. I will at some point try to batten this down, at least something like that, to get those wires next to the chassis. These here I will probably gonna pin over to the side here. Anyway, so I've been sort of looking through the schematic, trying to figure out, okay, where's the long wire run that I need to address before I go putting in components. And if I'm going to have the input and phase splitter stage cathode resistor network doobie-doo over here, then there's going to have to be long run wires going over there, and I want to put those in now. And I haven't counted up how many. I'm kind of winging it, y'all, a little bit, it's just but I really think I'm gonna need another set of lugs here, so I think I'm gonna just do that first. Where are my lugs? Where are my terminal strips? Right here. Oh no, don't really tell me they're not in here. Seriously. Oh, they are. Phew, Now for Pierre's amp, I used these because I was replacing all of his sockets and bolting them in. I therefore had bolts to, these are meant to mount to the same bolts that your sockets are bolted in with. But I'm using original sockets here and they're all riveted. So not an option. I mean, not that I couldn't put one of these on any random bolt in there, but that's kind of what the other sort of are for, this kind here. So that's, and I don't know, I'm also not looking to make this, what am I not making? I don't know. The trick with putting together a tube amp is, and any amp that I ultimately will probably not keep, is how super deluxe do I make said amp? How super deluxe are the components that I use? My general strategy so far has simply been to use components as good as those that I would use in my own stuff. And I don't generally go for the boutique components. I just don't see the worth in spending a lot of money on a component for which there is no friggin' data sheet, yet I'm expected to spend like $100 for a capacitor. It just doesn't work for me. So I go with Rubicons in general because they are made in Japan. They're like the last of the big makers that's still made in Japan. And I don't see people talking about that much online. Panasonics are made in China. Most Nichicons are made in China. Some of the high-grade Nichicons are made in Malaysia, I think. But most Nichicons are made in China. Panasonic and Nichicon are sort of the other big two that you see people talk about preferring. I don't know what's up with Elna. Anyway, I go with Rubicons in general, and because they are pretty. So I how do I know this? Because it doesn't say where they're made on the DigiKey website, but when you get the product, like this one says Mexico, and the also they ship with a an inventory list or whatever. Name's escaping me anyway. And so among the things that it tells you for every component you bought is the country of origin. And so even if with a little experience in buying stuff, you find out where the stuff's actually made, even if it doesn't say where it's made on on the listing for the part. So Rubicon's made in Japan. All right. Blah, 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 blah. My God, I'm just going on and on. Now, this thing is that, I might have screwed this up because that bolt is under my output transformer. Why did my phone just vibrate? Am I still on? Appear to be. Oh, I hope it's not important. Let's see what's going on here. Flying lead, star grounds. Yeah, I mean, I usually am a star ground guy. But I've seen people using ground buses and talking like they're a good deal. it's more, you know, if you're, I don't know, yeah. So yeah, this is a bit of an experiment for me. Um, car audio, Jaguar. I just reading, scanning through the comments here. Patrick's got a Jag. Sounds awesome. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I've generally not gone for boutique components, which is not to say that I don't use high quality ones. Um, you know, generally we'll use the MKP grade, the polypropylene film caps, and I will use film caps for any value for which film caps are generally available. And then at the low end, pick it up with NP0C0G grade ceramic caps like these, and and then on the high end, of course, uh, with the electrolytics, the aluminum electrolytics, and there I just, you know, I go with the relatively high quality. Again, I don't, you know. Sometimes I will go with the Elnasilmic 2s, but those are being phased out. Um, the Elnasilmic 2s are really nice because their values, um, the measured values are super consistent and bang on, rather than like riding along on the low end of the plus or minus 20% tolerance range, which is a little sketch, but I think, you know, it seems like the Silmic 2s are being discontinued, so I don't know what's up with, that's why I said I don't know what's up with Elna. All right, I'm gonna have to try to get that off. I don't know, wait, this is gonna be a pain in the butt. Maybe I should just put in another one, leave that one there and put one in here. How about that? I like that idea. All right. Finally, he's done talking. He's going to get to work. Jeez Louise, people. Yeah, I'm just feeling a little lazy, I guess, not wanting to like go in and try to count nodes and see if I've got enough terminals. I don't know, man. Just where my head's at. Just want to friggin' build the damn thing, you know what I mean? Oh, jeez Louise, come on. All right, not gonna work that way. Grab the ball driver. Just bump my camera. No, good. Yeah, I know. All right. turning it on. For real now. Turning on the friggin' soldering iron, getting it heated up. Of course, you can't tell because motor, whatever, not motor, geez Louise. You know what I mean? The power end of it. It wasn't too painful. All right, let's get busy here, buddy. You know, one of these days I'm going to get myself organized. But for now, this is how I roll. Rebuilding a carver, dude. I would say, Patrick, anywhere you can get rid of an electrolytic and put film in its place is good. That's what I would do. And factory replacement caps, I don't know. I mean, you know, that's an issue that you run into with working on Macintosh. You know, you're supposed to use like Macintosh parts, but if you're not a certified Mac repair tech, then you can't get those parts. I'm not. I have a Mac, so I'm not using factory parts. And, you know, I think in general, you use the best quality stuff you can get if you go with DigiKey or Mauser. And go with, you know, one of the good brands, and you know how to spec your caps. You know, and I think that is, you know, that is potentially a thing, knowing how to spec your caps. But if the question is, do you go with electrolytics or film are super easy to spec. They're generally going to have really high voltage ratings, and there, you know, it's just like, okay, are you satisfied with like the gray rectangle things, or do you want to go with orange drops? Lately I like on, you know, partly because I was doing an amp rebuild for somebody else. When I rebuilt Pierre's amps, I went with orange drops. You know, if it had been for me, I don't know if I would have bothered. And you know, it's so hard to do, you know, it's so hard to do like any kind of sound comparison with capacitors. So I never have. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. And the basic 2 cents is, yeah, if you can go with film, do it where you can. Oh, true voice of reason, that is a legit point. Think about that for a second. Yeah, that is a legit point. Yeah, I bet you could try it and see. I don't know. All right, I'm getting this the schematic up here. I know, I still haven't put the soldering iron to anything yet. I hear you. I get it. I know. All right. Actually, that's not, I didn't want these right away. I wanted wire. I need wire. Wire. Go with red. Pins. Three. No. I'm puzzling over the schematic here, y'all. I don't want to rush this. I want to make sure I get this right. It's a little complicated. It's got this, so on the phase splitter, it's got 22K up top on the plate. And then on the cathode, it's got 3 in series, a 1K, 22K, and a 1.5K. And then in parallel with all of those is a 220K, which puts the whole business to be exactly 22K like the plate. Now, why does it bother with that? Because the cathode from the input stage goes, just uses that last 1.5K resistor in that tail network as its cathode bias resistor. And the reason is because the predominant amount of current going through that will be from the phase splitter stage. So that will therefore effectively reduce the amount of negative feedback that the cathode resistor gives to that input stage, and therefore it's good because less negative feedback there means more gain without needing a bypass capacitor. Now, why not just use a bypass cap? I'm not entirely sure, but it seems to be rather rare to use a bypass cap at that point in the designs that I've followed. So, yeah. And maybe that was just because of expense. I don't know. But now I've just got to figure out where to run the wire, because it's not just a simple matter. Well, it might be a simple matter of just having all the resistors over here rather than over here, except that there's also a 1 meg grid leak resistor from the phase splitter that goes it goes into the cathode network for the phase splitter below the 1K. So the 1K, 22K, 1.5K, the 1 meg goes to the one below the 1K, between the 1K and the 22K, and then the cathode from the other triode goes below the 22K, between it and the 1.5K. Boy, it's it's a little complicated. And so, unless I want to run that grid leak resistor all the way over here, which doesn't seem like a good idea, I'm going to need to keep the 1K over here. But then how do I wire that? All right, I got to figure that out before I can put in a big old lead. Let me get some resistors in. So, yes, I have all my resistors in one cardboard box because I'm not cool enough to have drawers yet. But I did just get one set of drawers. The thing is, it's like one set of drawers is not going to be enough to put all my gear, all my stuff in. So now I got to figure out what to use it for. Probably resistors. Need two. Actually, I need 4. Oh boy. All right, just as a word of warning, as I get into this, I expect that my attention level to the chat will be even less than it already is. So sorry about that, but otherwise this is gonna... So I'll just try to be entertaining, okay? With my... Because I am super witty and entertaining, therefore... Therefore, that should be enough for you. Oh, phew. I was worried that's all the 1Ks I had. Which is not. I already reordered 1Ks. I tell you what, when I finally sort of decided that I was going to graduate from buying components, you know, exactly enough for given jobs to where I keep stuff on hand, that was kind of a big deal. You know, obviously it's a bit of money up front, but you know, the thing is that these things are not very expensive. So yes, it's a bit of money up front. And it's not just a little itty bit to, you know, order 10 of something or 25 of something, you know, like 25 of these, instead of, but the thing is, like 25 of these costs like less than $250. So, you know, the more you buy, the more you save. All right. Here, I'm just gonna so quickly get into this like I don't have enough lugs. I just know it. It's kind of bumming me out. Where am I gonna put them though? All right, I'm not gonna worry about it, y'all. Just gonna get to it. All right, this one is from pin 3 to a lug. All right. Oof, that's awkward. Yeah, it'll be fine. have to be fine. That's high voltage. It's supposed to be these two. That's all I've got. That can't, no, wait. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. No, it's not going to be fine, but it'll be fine. Gonna need more lugs. Just gonna, but I don't have anywhere to put them. Except for way over here. I can do that, but that's not where I need them. All right, not gonna worry about it. All right. That's a future me problem. These are the right ones, right? Okay, yeah. Double and triple check. All is, no, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna mutter to myself a little bit. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. It'll be cool. That's awesome. Yeah, and this is the not awesome part. I gotta go from pin 3, and the only lug I've got is all the way over here. And I'm like, oh, I should have planned that out better. Oh well. Should I go across? Yeah, I'm just gonna go across. True voice of reason. What's your actual name? I gotta call. I can't keep calling you that because you're just too damn funny. All right. Don't worry, I'm almost ready to solder some shit. I'm working on an amp, dude. Alden, my son is watching. Great. My son is in Eugene, and got a cool gig working on televising track meets on athletic.net. Yes, Alden. So I'm building this amp, this RCA console amp that is going to be awesome. And, you know, it's like that. I need to build. It makes me feel better. If you're wondering about my my method for dealing with whatchamacallit, fumes, I use the no breathe method, or blow it away. That's a piss poor job. Come on, you can do better. All right. I know what you're saying. You're saying, clipping those leads already, huh? Pretty sure of yourself for somebody who's not sure they've got enough terminal lugs on hand. Yeah, I like living on the edge. No, I don't have a glass of pure ethanol off screen. That would be irresponsible. Of course, there is no high voltage involved. And you know what? I'm like seriously running low on scotch. I need to get to the store, but I'm building with you instead. So, plus I generally don't like to drink and build at the same time. All right. The 1 megs. 1 megs. All right, those are going from pin 2 to the lug, right? Yes, right. Yeah, just just get it there. Just get it there, dude. Just don't worry about it. Just get it there. It'll be fine. There we go. Beautiful. No, not quite. Now it's beautiful. Mhm. So I'll tell you what is bumming me out just a little bit about all this is that, you know, if I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking, ordinarily it'd be nice to just like put on some tunes. But I believe that that is a good way to get my channel a copyright strike. I've been very clever about being able to not clever. I've been successful at not getting a copyright strike. And I would prefer to keep it that way. And you say, really? On a live video? Yes. Yes. Most assuredly on a live video. I was reminded of that. I'm a big fan of Andy Edwards' channel. And he mentions it like all the time how at the big last Black Sabbath show, he was doing a live stream, not at the show, in his studio, you know, doing a live stream. And, well, that was a shitty soldering job. Yeah, so he had, he had, you know, it was a, I don't know, they live streamed the show, right? And so, you know, or it was like a pay-per-view. And so during his live stream, he had a laptop like in the background playing the pay-per-view, you know, of the show with the sound off. And his live video got stopped, and he got a copyright strike. Right? Nuts, huh? So the man will get you if he can. So don't let the man get you down. All right. Clipping leads, living dangerously. I am just like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, first case where I'm gonna need. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Cool. I just need. No. It's not what I should do first. Sorry, I'm gonna mutter to myself. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm not going crazy. Thank you, Patrick. I know, right? I mean, I got my YouTube bucks, you know, the other day, which is like I think it was my biggest month ever for March, in terms of dollars from YouTube, and almost $300. Like, oh, sorry. Almost $300. Like, oh boy, I'm rich off YouTube. You know, that's enough for I can get a couple bottles of scotch and a few 6-packs And maybe buy some records. I haven't bought any records since Christmas time. And yeah, it's looking like April. It's like April. Am I actually gonna even get a check or whatever? Because yeah, I've just not been good this month about getting videos done. And I don't know that I really want to explain why. I'm not even sure why. There are many reasons. Partly, I just haven't been in. It is a lack of inspiration, ideas, etc. So, it's a creative process. That's in a way. Sorry. Okay. Wire from there all the way over to here, or maybe here. That might work better. I guess I got to decide where. I'm gonna need to run leads back. Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm gonna need to do. All right. Just keep it neat. I knew that was gonna happen, and I did it anyway. Oh, really? Come on. Fast there. I love this thing. I wish it went smaller, but it's awesome. Steven, you don't really love it. You just like it a lot. Fun. How did I mess that up? Look at that. Jeez. Where'd it go? All right. Well, yeah, actually, you can see exactly how messy my bench is, so I'm not gonna worry about pointing that out. But I can't find my bottle of liquid flux. And I'm worried that it's fallen off my bench, which oh no, it's just right here. How come nobody told me? Come on, y'all. Good night, Alden. So, when you need a third hand, sometimes you can just use flux. Well, what are you talking about? Well, I mean, maybe you know. But when you're soldering stuff, typically you need to hold the solder in one hand and just load up your soldering iron with solder, because then you won't be applying flux to the joint when you need to. So if you just pre-apply the flux, it's a little messy, and now my fingers are sticky, but now I can just load up the iron with solder and hold the wire so that it doesn't move while I solder it. Sometimes it even works. I guess this is not the ideal case, something that can take in as much heat as a speaker jack, but I'm not satisfied. Nope, not satisfied with that joint. There we go. Much better. Well, that was a bad job. Beautiful. That was so cool of my son to join us, wasn't it? He's an awesome guy. I would say kid, but he's not a kid anymore. From the lug. No. Yeah? Wait. Oh, this network is complicated. Oh, Patrick, no, I had not heard that the Hi-Fi Expo in Seattle got bought out. That mean it's not, so it's not now going to be, it's not going to be in September anymore. Is that what you're saying? It's going to be next April. Fine. Did I really want to go to that in the first place? Yeah. But, all right, gotta study this network. It's making my head hurt. Too many nodes. Fucking all the way up. Wait, no. No. Right. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure this out. Take the 22 over to the, take the 22K and the phase splitter network directly to the cathode on the input. Then I can bring a wire from that pin 8 over to here. And then it's from there, it's 68K to here and 1.5K to the ground bus. Geez, can I might be able to get away with just I'm laughing because I'm like, I think I didn't need to put in this lug strip, and now I'm not really even going to have anything to do with these. Okay, because now that I've soldered that in place, I don't want to I want to do it over. Boy, I'm cracking myself up, y'all. All right. Some 22. Okay, there we go. Nice big bag. 22Ks. If you're building tube circuits, 22Ks are pretty common. Hence, I got 25 of them. Why are 22Ks so common? They are just commonly used in what do you call cathodine phase splitters or concertina blah blah. Is that even right? I think concertina is one thing they call them. I can never remember for sure. I always want to call them candelabras, but I know that's not right. Chat's looking awfully quiet, y'all. Alright, I mean, I must be captivating, so that's cool. I'm down. Alright, let's get this. Oh, should have grabbed the 68. And these 68K resistors are like the secret sauce of this design, because that is a huge value to put in a feedback network. Typically, it'd be more like 1K, thereabouts, you know? I mean, maybe not that small, but like I think the original RCA circuit in this, the original RCA circuit, I can look and see what it had. That's not the original RCA circuit. I need to find it. just tell you. I just can't not tell you now. Scroll. All right. The original RCA circuit had, oh, well, okay, 8.2K on the feedback and 5.6K to ground. And that 8.2K was bypassed with 100 picofarads, I think. And this design, this HK20 design, does not require that a bypass on the feedback. It uses 68K, so it's like an order of magnitude greater. It means an order of magnitude less negative feedback. But the HK20 is supposed to be a pretty nice amp, so you know, and that's how I guess that that's the benefit of using a very low distortion tube like the 6CG7 is you don't need much feedback for it to sound really good. So I guess, right? I mean, I guess that's at least part of it. I mean, of course, feedback's not just for the input stage or tube, but you know, that is where most of the gain is. Right. Wires. Where am I going to put this one? Huh? I'm just going to snake it right along through here, I think. Oh, I don't know. I didn't point it out before. You might be wondering, like, what's up with the green wires coming up through the chassis? That's for the chassis mounted cathode resistors. So this is a cathode biased output stage. And I learned the hard way that using underpowered resistors underneath the chassis was just not worth messing around with. Use chassis mounted cathode bias resistors and put them on top. No fucking around, man. Wait, what? Oh, right. Wait. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I totally fucked that up. That lug was taken. Fuck. All right. It's okay. It's okay. I didn't need that wire in the first place. All right, so what am I on about? So see this red wire here? It's going here. That's high voltage. But I can just run the friggin' plate resistor straight from there over to here. I didn't really need that. That was overkill. And I can get rid of this wire too. That'll give me an extra lug there. But I didn't notice, until I was trying to put this wire in through the hole in the, in the bottom here. and it was already filled. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, that's what the fuck. Dang. All right. So this will be interesting. What do I do? Can I get this thing in there? That's probably the move. All right. Now, this, my friends, is just the bomb. This makes such a difference. Having a solder, like a serious tool, a serious desoldering tool, is like, oh my god, I can't believe I got by for so long with the manual solder sucker. That is so ghetto. I was so fucking bummed. I was so happy, and then I was so bummed. Because I was going to have a pair of Amperex 6922s that I just dug out of Niels's box of random tubes, and he's fine with us digging through his shit. And then it hit the floor, and it popped. I felt bad. Andy felt bad. Makes me want to cry. Oh man, come on. This is an awkward sort of thing to try to do. Yay. Success. Might as well get that other one while I'm at it, since I'm low on. Figuring I'm going to be low on lugs. Get this one too. Did I get it? All right. Y'all still with me? Still with me? I see there's some of you still watching. I'd appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. Well, dude, you shouldn't have turned that thing off. Because you want to go ahead and get that wire out of the other end as well. And that's going to be a problem over here. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to cut that one. But this one, I can suck out. And then just snip. There we go. That never happened. All right, back to where I was. Inserting this wire into the little hole there, and the other end in the little hole here. All those nice right angle crossings. Yay. Makes me so happy. The heat is on. Psyched, few of you are still down for this. I don't know, I suppose I'm probably down as long as you are. Bob, I know, right? It's a Hacko, Hacko FR301. It is the shiznit, I kid you not. Or as my boy back in Arkansas used to say, a crappy negative on that one. Good to see you tuning in, Bob. How's the cleanup? Or I don't know, you had some bullshit you had to deal with, right? Tornado and whatnot? Am I getting that right? God damn. Suck. I mean, I got problems, but fuck. Okay, let's see. Right. 68K, 68K, 1K. Wait. 1.5K. Did I get the 1.5s? I got the 22s. Where did I get the 22s? Wait. Shit. Alright, 22s will go over here. Right? Oh, I thought I had this. Oh, yeah. Alright, I got the 68s. I didn't get the 1.5s. Alright, it'll be 68K from here to here, 1.5K from here to here. I think that's right. Better be right. Jeez. Is that right? Yeah. Just gotta go. this up again. And 22K from here to pin 8. And these are not right. I thought I had it figured out. I don't know if I've got it figured out. This is not right. $68K shares the node with the cathode on the input stage. One in here, and if that's what, but that's what that was supposed to be. But that's not what that is. That's not what that is. Not with that wire going where it goes. That wire wasn't supposed to go there. That wire was supposed to go to pin 8. So I just wasted a bunch of wire. I'm supposed to go from here to pin 8 with 22K, and from pin 8 all the way out to here with a wire. Yeah, screwed it up. Oh well, wire's cheap, right? Just hate messing up. Better figure it out now. See, this is the part I leave out of my videos when I do show shit like this in videos. I leave out these mistakes, usually. Not that I would pretend they don't happen, it's just why include them if they're not useful. Oh no, I got black goo. That's not a pleasant smell. Oh well. Now do I splice or do I get new? Oh, I guess get new wire, dude. Just stop. Just get new wire. Just hate wasting that much wire. But it's fine. It's all right. It's not a big deal. It'll be okay. Should I give this a title? I should give this a title. Can I give this a title? Oh, jeez. not gonna worry about it, y'all. Going to suck. Going to suck. And yes, I still get such a kick out of using this thing. So nice. It's not cheap. It's like $300. Yeah, it's not super cheap, but so worth it. Don't worry, that didn't burn me. If you were worried. $22K from here to pin 8. Wire all the way from pin 8 to here. Similarly here. This one, yeah, whatever. All right. So these are 22K resistors in that network. And yeah, it just took me, it's a weird network. It's just taken me a while to figure it out, obviously. That's just a shield. So this will be cool. No sweat, no problem. It's all good. Well, maybe just here. I should put in the wire first. I should put in the wire first. Yes. I hope I'm not running out of this wire. Better check. Yeah. Anytime super soon. All the way there. Squeezing through all the tight spots and all the way up to here. Give myself a little slack. Why did my phone vibrate? Am I still on? Still going. Anybody ever see "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou"? I'm in a tight spot. I'm in a tight spot. There we go. Come on, wire, lie down. You'll be bumping up on me. Get your ass on down on that chassis. Come on. Shit. It's all right, Bella. I'm just going redneck. You guys didn't really think I was from Arkansas, did you? Turned on you. Turn redneck. Just like that. Ouch, 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 ouch. Fuck! I'm not saying fuck because it hurt. I'm saying fuck because I went through the pain and the wire still popped out. It's just not cool. Okay. Okay, we're good. All right. Jeez. What the hell? All right. Just like getting feeble here. More wire. More wire. Not exactly a lot of it left. So this is a mix of you know, like Chinese crappy wire. That's what these are. I don't know if it's Chinese and I don't know if it's crappy. It's fine. Anyway, but then this red wire is what I got from DigiKey. Same with this black wire. Just put it in the set. And you know, it's just much better wire than the other stuff. So I'm mainly using it. All right, how's this gonna go? How is this gonna go, y'all? How is it gonna go? What is the optimal routing? I think this is gonna go a long way. This is gonna go, this one is taking the long way home, y'all. That's not gonna be enough. It's not. Is it? Just. Keep it together. Can I adjust? I can. Thank Jesus. Ouch. Not very painful, actually. I mean, not even. I mean, just a bit, just a little. Not much at all. All right. Wires. I've got the wires. Do I have the wires? I've got the wires. Did I do the wires right? I think I did the wires right. Did I do the wires well? I think so. I think I did them all right. Get a little bit more distance there. Oh boy. It'll fun. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, gotta solder that end. Yep. That sucks. Do better than that. My dudes, we are getting there. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Now, the 22Ks. Which one was this supposed to be? This one? Seems to be bent just so, doesn't it? Must be. Here? Yeah, I'm gonna make the big bucks off of this live stream. I got 8 people watching. Fuck yeah. It's fine. I did not expect to get any more than that. And I'm psyched to have you all with me. Because honestly, I feel like I owe you some content. Not everybody, just you all. And I've not been getting content made. So, I figure a few people might get into this. Can you hear me at all? This one's a little sketch. This one's a little sketch. In there. All right. And oh, that's not work. You know, so here's the question. Shrink tubing or no shrink tubing in this sort of situation? Obviously, the shrink tubing protects you from shorts, but it adds capacitance. I gotta put my hair back. You don't want any more stray capacitance than, you know, than you don't want any. You don't want it. So if you can do away, if you can get by, if you can deal with that kind of routing like that, it's not going to be a problem. I mean, worst thing that could happen is the resistor bumps up against either one of those pins there. But the way I've got it situated, it's only the resistor that would ever touch, not one of the bare wires. It's cool. It's fine. All these little decisions that one must make. It's kind of nifty, really. It's all a big puzzle. And yes, I generally do this kind of thing on the fly. I've planned it out before for some amps. It doesn't turn out any neater. It doesn't. So, I mean, generally doesn't. Oh, fucker. Of course you fucking budge. Damn it. Anybody notice that my vulgarity, usage of vulgarity is increasing as I go? No, I'm not drinking off camera. God damn it. Fill the friggin' hole. Come on. I still need to pull that other one. Friggity. All right, that's good. That is good. Did I get this one? I got that one, didn't I? Yup. That's weird, though. Not gonna worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, really? Oh, ve ist mir, y'all. Come on. There we go. All right, now 68K here to, and then 1.5K here to here. 68K here to here, 1.5K here to here. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. No, didn't burn, Bob. Did not burn. Thank you for asking. I'm going to get these resistors on here, and then I'm going to have to call it a night. I have to take students into the field tomorrow for my class. And I'm taking them to the heart of darkness, as it were. Oh, fuck you. God damn it. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I'm taking them to the Coast Range, the Oregon Coast Range. And I'm not even going to tell you exactly where, because if I did, I'd have to kill you. Oh, I know. No, I didn't mean that, FBI minders. No. What I meant to say is that it is a precious, precious spot. One of the few remaining stands of real old growth in the Coast Range. And it's really hard to find, really hard to get to. None of these folks will see it ever if I don't take them there. And I think people ought to see what it's like. It's just it's a friggin' mind melter, man. Once you see what these streams look like in their natural state, as opposed to just friggin' hosed, man. Like so much of the Coast Range. Probably all of you are old enough to remember the Spotted Owl Wars, or whatever. That's where we're going. First time I was out there, I think it was like the first time I went out there. Not first time into the Coast Range, but the first time going out to do field work around that area. And we're in our Forest Service rig, and we're behind this car, and we check out the bumper sticker, and it has this bumper sticker that says, "I heart spotted owl, fried." So that's where we're going. But to see these, a Doug fir that's like 600 years old, it's just, yeah. I mean, it's not redwoods, granted, but it's still pretty awesome. And to see what those streams look like. I mean, I'm a geomorphologist. The trees are sort of, but the thing is, like, yeah, I'm not a forester, but I need to know something about those trees because they have such a huge effect on the streams. Anyway, that's what I'm doing tomorrow, and we're leaving pretty early. So I'm going to have to bug out of here pretty soon. I sure do appreciate you all keeping me company, though. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, $275. That's not bad. Yeah, go for it. I think I got mine on Amazon. Except Bob, here's what you got to watch out for. And I don't know if it makes a difference, but a bunch of the lower priced ones, are the Japanese models that are made to go with 100-volt wall supply. Now, I don't know. It may not matter. It may be fine, but I don't know. So do watch out for that. Because you can get the Japanese ones pretty cheap. And then the question is, yeah, but is the 120 volt from our wall going to burn out is it going to burn it out? So I bought the US, the one made for our supplies. So just a little FYI, if you hadn't already clued into that. Up, up, and away, my beautiful blue. Yeah, I think that's right. On the Hacko, I just didn't want to fuck around with the worrying about the, you know, it's like I'm gonna buy this once, and I better make sure I do it right. How you like in the back of my head? Come on. All right, so what have I done? I believe, and I will check it, not tonight. I'll recheck it though. But what I have done is I have hooked up the cathode and feedback network for the input and phase splitter stages. And those networks are, you know, intertwined in a relatively complicated way. Because this is, if you tuned in late, this is the input and phase splitter stages are, I'm copying them from the HK20 design, Harman Kardon mono tube amp from the friggin' 50s, I think. And it has a rather interesting, it's a rather interesting circuit that gets around some issues with using the 6CG7s, which are lovely tubes, but they have relatively low gain. And so it's like the not much feedback really. These are 68K feedback resistors. And yeah. So I think with that, y'all, I'm going to sign off. I really do appreciate y'all tuning in. Some of the usual suspects, it's good to see you, even if only your signifier is coming up in the comments, the chat. I might do this again. This was, like I said, I just sort of felt like I wanted to touch base with y'all and, you know, provide some content that I've been slacking off on, not because I want to, reasons. Anyway, nice hanging out with y'all, and hope you have a good weekend. Cheers. How do I end it? I'll figure it out in a second here. Don't worry about me. Do I end it? This is funny. No, that's not what I wanted to do. X? You sure you want to stop streaming? Yes. Good night, y'all. It's been a pleasure.